Saryan Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Adab, Jai Shri Krishna, and a very warm good evening to 2017 health shows. I know the public has been earnestly waiting for me to do the shows, but having been into my travels into Africa and then a February travel and then a June-July travel, we'll be running these shows now with Felix. I want to welcome my host and my presenter, but also my guest tonight. We are doing these two concept shows. Felix, very warm good evening.
Thank you.
And he's learned to say Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal.
There we are. So wonderful. So folks, welcome to this. Felix asked me a question before halftime, which is very close to your heart as well, is the colon. So when the food goes into the small intestine, they are, it is 21 feet long, Felix, and that is where the villi are. Mm-hmm. The villi in the colon absorb your nutrition, your minerals, your vitamins from the food you have eaten.
Yes.
But will also malfunction if you have a wheat intolerance. In the sense, if you have a wheat intolerance, there are going to be issues with the villi, where children with celiac conditions or wheat intolerance will have griping pain or bloatedness. And the first thing people run out is for pills and potions and powders, those kind of things. Then the food goes into whatever is the unwanted food, out of which 2/3 of that is dead bacteria, which is our cells of our body. Mm-hmm. It leaves the large intestine, which needs good oils, which needs good amount of water.
Yes.
And then that fecal matter will be soft, and you'll be able to excrete it with a minor twitch or a pain in the upper ab, above your belly button, 4 inches above, or in the anal passage, you get a downward pressure. That means you're ready to go. But don't say, oh, you'll go home and do it. You never control the colon. The colon should control you. It is, I am saying, your colon is your AA center. If you ever come down to London, I'll show you my chart. Every reflex point on your feet is also connected to your colon. Uh-huh. So by doing colonics, by having good fecal matter every day, at least 2 to 3 bowel movements, it really means that your digestion is good, your absorption is good, your excretion. So it's chewing, assimilating, absorbing, and excreting. This human detox function is so complex.
For sure. And to pick up on the villi, you made a very good point about wheat intolerance, gluten intolerance, but we're also seeing some additives which are used, such as xanthan gum, having a similar effect to gluten in terms of causing a more leaky gut syndrome.
It's used everywhere. It's also called thickener, bypassing this word. Food industry, Felix, is doing so much to fool us. We need to be so vigilant, and we need to be at the same game. But here with the Call Channel, with myself and Felix, doing a 2-in-1 show, we hope that every Monday, 9:40, we can bring you a wealth of information. And at the number below, contact us off air. We are happy to help you, and also for appointments. So as an Ayurvedist and also as a nutritionalist, and in doing nutritional products and advice and colon detox, I'm taking you this evening on a journey with Felix, trying to talk about proteins. And we are not going to be naming any one product, but he's so passionate that Felix, Asian diet is so much to do with complex and simple carbs. Mm-hmm. It's wheat, rice, bread, cereals, more wheat, dunking biscuits, cakes, all the Indian savories, and how by the time most women are 40, they've doubled their weight, and most men carry a huge belly in front, which is the same as a wheat belly. So that is carbs. Why are you so passionate about proteins, and where did your journey of protein start from?
Let me just back up, because you made a really good point, and I just want to, one of the biggest gifts that we can share is if your waist circumference around your navel, around your belly button.
Belly button, remember that, not hip or not lower ab, so belly button.
So if you can bring yourself into balance such that it's at least half, less than half your height, this is one of the best indicators of metabolic health and your risks of metabolic disease
Yes.
that you can keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Much better than weighing yourself. You know, don't get so too interested, distracted in your week-to-week weight, because if you drink water, you're going to hydrate. You're going to put extra weight on. If you go to the gym, put muscle on. You're going to put muscle on. What's most important is the ratio of your height to your waist.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as your waist is less than half your height, you're really doing yourselves favors. If you're above, if it's wider than more than half your height, then it's time that maybe you should try and nudge yourself more into balance.
My God, there's going to be a huge sale on the measure tape now this evening or tomorrow morning. People are going to rush out and buy a measure tape to measure themselves. But what a simple way. Do we need to buy these digital weighing scales? And do you know they can be deceiving, and in the sense that I see a lot of people are actually carrying about 10 kilograms of fecal matter in the gut.
It's you know, look, when someone wants a kind of weight loss, then obviously one of the biggest, quickest, easy things to do is to detoxify.
Yes.
But what we're talking about is not only kind of short-term progress, but long-term health.
Yes.
And for that, to answer your question more fully, I'm a big believer if we can drink 2 to 3 liters of clean water, so ideally reverse osmosis with mineral drops added back in every day, fast 12 to 14 hours overnight, ideally start our day with exercise, but at least move. Have some movement, do what you're passionate about, whether it's walking
in the park.
Running.
Doesn't have to be gym. Does it have to be gym?
No.
When 40% of my patients have never gone to the gym after the first fee, and about 65% have failed to go back after a month.
Wow.
How's that? Look, this is every week I get people saying, oh, I've gone to the gym, but I haven't gone back after a month.
You know, I think the answer here is to do what you enjoy and what you love doing. So if you enjoy dancing, do that. You know, if you enjoy taking a walk in the woods, do that. Walking by a stream is going to really decrease your stress.
So true.
I'm a big believer in yoga. I love yoga. I think to the extent that you can do at least 1, but ideally 2 sessions of some weight-bearing exercise. Now, if that's in the gym or just supporting your body weight in a handstand or other body weight exercises, then it's very good for your bone health.
But Felix, 6 decades ago, 6 centuries ago, our first Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, gave this Naam Simran to us on a plate, which means meditation. And 6 centuries later, people are coming back to it and realizing we have drifted away. Heavy metal music, watching movies late at night, eating with your television on with bad music, or a bad movie, or a movie which is showing bloodshed, is not the finest way to eat. But we got so much, my God. So tell me about proteins, right? Here are, with the Punjabi diet, which we've touched in the first part of the show, proteins, we are talking about good proteins, but good choice. Call us on the number below. We'll direct you by the kind of product that is good for you.
Sure.
And here Felix and I are working together. Don't you think going organic is very important?
For sure, look, organic does increase costs, so it's wise to be as organic as possible, but also know sometimes where your higher risks are. So anything with broad green leaves is definitely going to be more exposed to pesticides. So then if it's a broad leaf, then it's very good to go for an organic source. Ideally organic all the time, but if pricing and value is a concern, then the choices are buy the highest quality fruit and veg you can afford, and particularly prioritize those with broad leafy veg. Try and get that as organic as possible.
Do you know, people work for 60, 75 years of their life, and they save. They think that after 65 we will have a great retirement, and then clocks in, something strikes them for a mini stroke or a stroke or a cardiac condition. They said, all this time we thought we will do this after we retire. And I'd say, rather than having to pay for your private insurances, which may, if you can, I would say, and a lot of my patients now dig that money a little bit deeper into organic food and have gone NHS. There is nothing wrong with the NHS. It's a wonderful welfare state. remarkable. Flaws, yes. Pros and cons, yes. But fancy going to Africa and where there's some emergency, when you have to dig into your pocket for £1,000 on the table before you're even taken to theatre, you will then say, I wish I was in England. But let's, embrace that we have got this and do it in time. Your body's a ticking clock. It's like a time bomb. The time bomb is when it actually blows up and literally we are then shattered with diseases, whether it is joint or knee pain or colds or flus. It's telling us you are now in a lower immune system, isn't it?
That's exactly it. Staying close to your body, listening to your body and hearing it subtle. As my wife would say, if you don't take heed to the nudge, it will become a brick.
Yes.
If you don't take care of the brick, it becomes a boulder.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the boulder when you hear the gentle nudge, or at least the pebble. You asked where I was when I came to a journey of health. I mean, we've known each other more than 15 years. I've always been passionate about health. I guess like many of us who work in a higher stress environment, I got myself in a position where my body was in an over-inflammatory state. Now, how did I do that? I was exercising routinely, for sure, but I was feeding my body common allergens. So I was using whey protein, casein proteins, all of these sort of...
the ones that we both don't like anymore.
Yeah. And I was eating too often. Because the old way used to be eat little and often, and now we know, we get wiser as we age, and we now know that actually eating less frequently, trying to only eat every 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, let the food pass the system. Yeah. Do you know we are more thirsty than hungry, and we make a bad choice?
Yes.
Let's go on to kale, and you have great passion of greens, of kale and spinach. These are superfoods, and Western industry and food industry is talking about superfoods all the time. Again, there is blue kale, there is organic kale, there's organic baby spinach, but don't pick up the bigger leaves, isn't it, of spinach, because they have now been sprayed. Organic
spinach, organic broccoli,
Serious.
Organic kale.
Broccoli, God mighty. 24 chemicals?
Yeah, we do, and apples especially.
64?
Yeah, we do need to make some organic choices, for sure. But these things, so often, I 100% agree with you that many times people think they're hungry when they're thirsty. And what will happen to you is that if you start to drink 2 litres or 3 litres of water a day, you'll start to go to urinate more frequently for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, your body will normalise and you'll just pass more. So start over a weekend and get used to it. Yeah. But the other thing is that people are, what I would say, are starving on a full stomach.
Yes.
Because they're...
I like that. Starving on a full stomach. Think about it.
It's starving of nutrients that they need.
Yes.
So what we want to try and shift towards is eating more nutrient-dense diets, a diverse range of vegetables and fruits, but which are nutrient-dense. So the amount...
And here comes in the dead calories.
Exactly.
We must talk about that, because nutrient-rich food will satisfy you.
Oh, so much. You have some kale and broccoli.
But you have to chew, and the mental stance, your mind has to be right. You need to sit and not food on the go. And then, you need to talk about thinking about how you chew.
Yes.
And how you hydrate first thing in the morning, don't you think so?
You
can drink as much water as you want to. Felix, Japanese have shown case studies that by drinking, I'm not saying gulp a liter of water straight in the morning, but at least 2 large glasses with lemon.
Yes, I do
Yours
that.
and mine favorite.
Yep.
When I've been to India and I was back in Kenya, I was having juice of 20 lemons a day and probably 20 neat lemons straight away.
Wow.
People would just cringe on me. And the same happens on the flight. People would say, do you want all that lemon, ma'am? We'll be running out, but we'll check in the back at the deck at the back. If they have more lemon, we'll make sure it's on board next time. But lemon, God, it's amazing.
It's a morning hydration ritual and good, for, in the evening as well. But in the morning, to wake up and have a hot water with half to a full half if you're less than 60 kilos, a full lemon if you're more. It just allows your body to begin that ritual very,
Do you know,
very
we
kindly.
really need to break this mental blockage of people to say, oh, lemon is acid.
It's alkaline
It is
forming
an
in the body.
alkaline and
Yeah.
it stays an alkaline. Yes, orange juice is acidic and, you know, tangerines are alkaline. But, you know, our stomach is so great. When you eat an acid, it converts to alkalinity.
Yes.
When you eat an alkaline, it converts to acid. Not forgetting the hydrochloric acid. It's there for a purpose, you know. So you also like yellow peas with kale, you spinach and broccoli, which should be at least these 3 leafy vegetables should be in your diet every other day. Do you think so? 4 days of the week?
Do you know,
some shape or form?
you know, if you look at a plate and you're trying to construct a good plate, there are a lot of great resources. Harvard Medical School put out a great Eat Well plate, and the leading one in the UK I know of is the Alliance for Natural Health. These are independent, evidence-based Eat Well plates, and essentially what you would look for is a good source of protein. One of the best forms of protein that I know of is European golden peas.
Yeah.
So you know, a good handful of protein. If you're looking at the structure of a plate, at least half the plate of green leafy veg, maybe a small amount of fruit, and we can get into specifics here if we're going to go to that level. And you know, maybe if you're exercising, you know, sweet potato or another form of you know, kind of carbohydrate.
Or a small potato rather than the big fluffy potatoes.
And of course the healthy fats.
And the good fats, always the good fats, 3, 6 and 9s. And then obviously bottled water. There is so much plastic, and there is so much plastic in the beaches, so much plastic in the sea that will never degenerate for centuries. Do we need to start looking at a better choice of glass bottles?
The issue with plastic bottles is BPA. So whenever you're buying, they do now sell plastic bottles, you know, which say on the bottom, and they're usually hard plastic.
Yeah.
And they'll say BPA free.
Yes.
Always look for BPA free whenever you're buying. But ideally, I use glass bottle at home. Obviously in the car, I'm going to use a BPA free plastic bottle.
Yeah.
But at home, I routinely use a glass bottle.
Again here, just to re-emphasize what Felix is saying, endorse it, that never leave your plastic bottle in a hot car.
Yes. Yeah.
There's seriously, you know, the heat and the vapor in there, which is so carcinogenic and cancer-causing. Try to go for glass bottle. I've brought a glass bottle which is down on the floor here, and these are the bottles I use. Distillers, people have spent I've worked out, 2,500 in breaking their backs, bringing water from stores of all kinds, which are in go-downs and in mountains. We don't know how long they've been sitting there, leaving that in the car, and I tell them to buy a distiller for about 179 pounds. They say, oh, okay, not this month and not next month. And I said, how much did you spend in 2016 on your bottled water? 2,500. Just shipping. So again, bottled water, everything we are saying here comes with a bit of, you know, extra studies that Felix has done that I endorse in the clinic all the time with the Ayurveda nutrition. Even having a simple tablet capsule, you need to have water for it to pass through the system.
Sure. And I think just to echo what we said in the earlier part, you know, it's if we can not drink so much with food to dilute our enzymes, but then of course, you know, half an hour before food, or half an hour to an hour before food, and an hour after food. If we take a lot of water in it, then it helps.
I basically say an hour and a half after food.
Perfect.
But an hour before food, an hour and a half after food. And what is the first thing that goes on the tables is fizzy drinks, the black drinks, the orange drinks, the squashes, kind to your teeth drinks, and the child is fully bloated within a few bites. But then that child is demineralized, and half an hour later he's grazing back in the kitchen for a packet of crisps.
Well, this is what we were saying, starving on a full stomach.
Yeah, I like that. I really liked that. Natural detoxification, obviously, I touched the first time that we don't need to be living on, you know, constipation tablets and fiber pills. Natural detoxification, what is that in your view?
Well, of course you'll have your whole detoxification system in your body, but a fundamental part of that, of course, is good water. We need to cover how to eat in balance and to put some figures on that. Every cell in your body is using protein to repair and regenerate.
Yep.
World Health Organization suggests 0.83 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So if we keep that easy, for a 30 kilo child, that's 30 grams of protein a day. For a 60 kilo adult, 60 grams of protein a day.
That's not a big
and for
rocket science.
No.
Easy to understand.
90 kilos, then you're looking for 90 grams in the day. So it's actually quite a lot more, particularly when you're on a vegan diet. You're going to really need to look for ways to get high quality protein into you where you can approach the sort of higher protein, higher good fat, monounsaturated fats like virgin olive oil, saturated fats like coconut oil. These can actually assist with the overall detoxification, but fundamentally, as well as hydration, you've got to move. We're designed to move.
Yes.
We were made to move.
Yes.
And if we can be, even if it's a walk.
How did human life start? From 4 legs to 2 legs? So if you look at the primitive apes who were on 4 and then on 2, we are now an amazing human race that no other species on human life can match a human brain, our thinking modality, our movement, our thought process, our way of cooking, cleaning, connecting with nature, earth, while other animals will fend and eat whatever there is provided. But our journey today is to give you information. Still, check with your GP. And then there's a number down below to call us or make appointments off the air. Call the number of Akal channel and we'll be very happy to talk to you. Superfoods. Oh, I love superfoods. But there's so much, okay, if they're saying have superfoods, they should be organic. Don't you think so?
It's always going to be better to have your food.
What's the point having a superfood which is sprayed, something like broccoli, with 24 chemicals? Yeah. You are inviting cancer. What's the point of having an apple, which has got 64 chemicals? Yeah. What's the point of having inorganic wheat, which has got the most dangerous Roundup weed killer spray, which is the last spray that is put before harvest and can never be washed off? Pennies, I think, make us wiser, but I'm saying pennies will take you on a longer journey of a healthier life. So by 60, you're not knocking on NHS. I think NHS is heavily laden with people who have become victims with bad choices.
It was like you said, if we can all, kind of take more control of our own destiny from a health point of view. And in health, habits, what you do habitually is almost, it can be something that we want to look at. I came on this health.
But the habit is formed from the emotion.
Yes, it's totally mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
You asked me earlier, how did I? And I started to say, some of us, when you have a high stress lifestyle, you become in a more inflammatory state. I was eating too often, eating dairy-containing substances, having gluten too often, and you get in this over-inflammatory state. I was also in a job with major responsibilities, so a degree of
adrenaline,
exactly,
which is so disease-causing.
And so, even though I was exercising, I injured my knee. It wasn't the knee injury itself that necessitated a surgical intervention. It was my body's over-inflammatory response.
Yes.
And then I hooked up in 2014 with a team of health experts who I'd known, more than 10 years before, and
didn't make sense then.
They guided me back
Yes.
to body balance, following these simple steps, and I tell you, it was effortless. The first, in just bringing, they did a 2-week journey to bring me really into balance, and literally within the first 7 weeks of just making simple dietary shifts, I released over 11.7 kg of body weight.
Whoa. Now, that's a gentler way of doing it, because then he was telling his body at that time, I'm the boss, you're not the boss anymore. Take control. Take control and think what you're doing. You don't need to sign up straight for the gym and say, that is my key answer. Because you could be going gym. I had a lady who came yesterday who goes to the gym, does not go to up to 4 days, but walks half bent. I said, your skeletal structure is wrong. Go to the gym, and what are you doing? Her husband said she's a bit better than before. But all these things of sprays, pesticides, they're causing huge amount of infertility, of men infertility, women not having good egg production, of polycystic ovaries, of women not having menses at the right time, endometrial wall thinking, ovarian cancer. It seems to be knocking on everybody's door.
Sure.
And again, all this is coming through the factors of bad food, isn't it?
It's a daily choice, and if we can nudge, particularly if we can inspire our children, but if we can make better life choices for ourselves and then inspire our children to make better life choices, then those will serve us at every time we put food in.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity between moving towards vitality or moving towards dis-ease. And if we can make better choices, then we're really looking after ourselves.
So I've called my clinic Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic.
There you go.
Both things resonate so much. And my logo, which took me about 6 months to decide, was a galloping horse. So my daughter thought, come as sick as a horse, sweating, panting, and walk galloping, because a horse is such a gracious animal with beautiful fur, upright posture, and the way they gallop is amazing. So human life is so precious. Our program today with myself and Felix, thanking him for such wonderful information, is to just bring you information, to knock on your door and make you think tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, and then start your morning tomorrow with water and going on for organic fruits and vegetables. So important.
I always start every meal with protein. Now, in the morning we can all be rushed.
Yeah.
You can use.
We are really running out of time as well. I don't know how much time we have. Yeah.
A topic for another show, maybe.
Honestly, isn't it? Okay, we have got 30 seconds. Last word into the camera for our viewers for tonight. Our first show for 2017. Many more to come with myself and Felix. What would you like to say?
Good evening. Thank you for being with us, and I really appreciated your comments from the chat show that we did. I'm very grateful for them. Thank you.
The chat show was done on a Monday at 12 noon with myself, and the cook shows are every Wednesday at 7:30 and every Saturday at 11:30. 100th cook show, celebrating that with Akal's 4th birthday since Akal established itself from a small one camera to a worldwide medium. 106 countries of media is now being flourished out. And myself and Felix will say good night to you. Stay tuned in your body. God bless you, and all have a very good night. Sat Sri Akal and good evening.